together, can we stand a chance?
It's time.
Hey everyone, Mr. DVB here. In today's video, I am going to be reviewing Dune, which seems to be the most anticipated movie of this year for a lot of people. At least in the communities I'm a part of online, it's probably the most anticipated film of the year. I myself was not super excited for this movie. I was certainly intrigued by it and interested in seeing it, mainly because of the director behind it. I think Denis Villeneuve is one of the best directors today. I love Blade Runner 2049, Prisoner's Arrival, some of my favorite films in the last decade. So I was really looking forward to this film because of his filmmaking. But beyond that, I don't really have much history with the Dune name. I've never seen the original film, never read the book or anything like that. So, this was a completely fresh experience for me. I went into this without knowing anything. I didn't want to watch the original or read the book. I kind of wanted this to be my first experience, and I'm glad I chose that route. But yeah, this was a film that is just, blowing up. It seems like there's a lot of people referring to this as being like the next Lord of the Rings type thing, just this huge book to movie franchise that blows up and becomes, one of the best of all time. I can't say for myself yet if that's going to be the case, but I did really, really like this movie. I thought this was great from start to finish. I don't think it's necessarily perfect. I did have some issues, but overall, I thought it was a really great film. I'll try to explain the story as best as I can without saying too much and just with trying to be as detailed as I can at the same time. So I wrote a little synopsis. Basically, the movie follows this boy named Paul, who is the son of a noble family. His father is played by Oscar Isaac, mother is played by Rebecca Ferguson, and they are tasked with running this planet called Arrakis, which has this spice that it is very well known for. It is pretty much the most valuable resource in the cosmos, and there are other forces going after it, so it is a very dangerous planet to be on, and he receives visions which hint at a larger role he could play in the grand scheme of things, kind of like the Chosen One type thing. And yeah, that is my explanation of this film storyline. I found it quite interesting, to be honest. It is definitely a slower film, and I can see some people maybe complaining about that. My brother was personally not a fan of this movie. He thought it was extremely well made, but he just thought it was really boring. I myself, I really liked it. I only found that it got kind of boring towards the last act. I thought the last half an hour or so felt a little bit like they were dragging on for me. But besides that, I actually liked the pacing here. I liked just exploring the characters and developing the world / worlds, because this is a pretty incredible movie just from a visual standpoint, which is what I feel like the biggest thing I can say about this movie is just that from a technical standpoint, this is flawless. I mean, the visuals here, the score, the cinematography, everything, it's all so well done. I liked the characters. I thought all the performances were great. I have not seen Timothée Chalamet in much at all, and I really, really liked him here. I like his character of Paul. I find he's an interesting protagonist who can kind of come across as a bit stoic, but he does have a lot going on, and there's certainly layers to his character that I really liked, seeing the movie explore. I thought Rebecca Ferguson as his mother gave a great performance. She was really, really good here as Lady Jessica. His father, played by Oscar Isaac, really liked him in this. Jason Momoa was a surprise here. I liked his character quite a bit. He was just fun and energetic. So everybody here does a great job. There's some actors who were not in it anywhere near as much as I thought they were, like Dave Bautista, for example. He's not even in the film that much, maybe a couple minutes at the most. But yeah, everybody here just gave a really good performance, and that was great to see. In visuals, like I talked about, they are phenomenal here. This movie deserves to be seen on the big screen. I saw it in IMAX. If you can see it in IMAX, if there's one near you, go see it in that format. It is truly worth it. A lot of the movie is shot in IMAX as well, so you're not just seeing a, letterbox ratio film on IMAX screen. You are seeing a film that truly has IMAX sequences, and that was great. Because this is a totally a visual movie. The cinematography is phenomenal here, which I went into it basically expecting that just because of Blade Runner 2049, Arrival, and whatnot. His movies always have a very incredible sense of scale, and this was no different. Just those really large, wide landscapes with these massive ships. The sense of scale that Denis Villeneuve has in his films is unparalleled. It's pretty crazy, and this movie was just fantastic for that. There were some really awesome scenery and locations and whatnot in this movie. The ships were all really cool. Love the designs and whatnot. The score by Hans Zimmer, who is my personal favorite composer, was fantastic. This was one of his really memorable scores, in my opinion, really unique. because sometimes his scores can feel a little bit similar. They're always great, but they can feel similar sometimes, and this definitely just felt unique. I think a lot of that had to do with the vocals that were being used here. It gives the film kind of like this, just a unique feel to it, almost like there's a lot of like culture behind it, which I thought was really cool. So great score, gets really like exciting at moments, really great overall, just very bombastic and large scale sounding. So awesome score. The sound was fantastic as well. I mean, like I said, I saw this in IMAX, so it is louder, but it was great. Like there was just some really memorable sequences here for the sound design. All that stuff was fantastic. The action sequences, there's not like a ton of them in this movie. Don't go into this expecting like an action-packed film like Lord of the Rings, for example, because I know that's what this is being compared to a lot. It's not like that. The action sequences here are good. They're not like the main focus. I don't think they were necessarily like jaw-dropping or incredible in all honesty, but I did think they were really good. I feel like that's something that the sequel will have more of, even though I don't really know the direction the story goes in. I just feel like they're setting it up like there's going to be a lot more going on in that film. This film was more about setting up the characters and the world building than it was about having all these massive set pieces. So yeah, really great overall. Like I said, my biggest issue was just the pacing in the final act, because, well, it is definitely a slower movie overall. I wasn't bored at all in the first two acts at all. I just thought the last act, the last half an hour or so, there was a couple of points where it just was dragging for me a little bit, and I felt like they could have maybe shortened it a tad bit. But at the same time, this feels like the kind of movie that would be 2.5 hours long. I guess the way I'm kind of comparing it is No Time to Die, for example, which I just saw like a couple weeks ago. That's like that's 2 hours and 45 minutes, and this felt like a longer movie than that by like a half an hour. Like this definitely felt like a longer film because of its pacing. Which could be an issue for some people. It wasn't a huge one for me, but it did just sort of hurt the final act a little bit for me. Overall, though, great movie. I highly recommend seeing it. Is it the next, big Lord of the Rings type movie? I don't know yet. I have to see the sequels so we get a full picture about, everything. I don't know if it will be for me personally, because I do think the Lord of the Rings movies are a little bit more exciting than this was, but I could see this just, being a huge success. It's already, it's sold out every night at the 7 p.m. showing, which is the most popular. It's sold out for the next few days for that, which is quite rare during COVID especially. I mean, I'm comparing it to, when I saw No Time to Die. That was sold out the first night, but the other ones it wasn't. So I think this is going to be a huge hit, which is nice to see. And yeah, I definitely hope we get a sequel. I mean, they do call this film Dune Part 1 in the opening title card, so I imagine they're hoping that they will be making a second one as well. But yeah, really great film. Definitely liked it overall. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Dune. Potentially my favorite movie of this year. I don't know. I said that about No Time to Die. I gave No Time to Die 10, and I don't feel that way anymore. I did see it again, and I still love it, but it's not quite a 10 for me. I think, honestly, some of the humor and stuff in the first half kind of hurt the movie a little bit for me, and it tried to be a little too cute and goofy at times. So yeah, sometimes I need a second viewing to really be clear on things. So this is a movie where it's I'm debating between a 9 and a 10. I don't quite know at this moment, so I'm just taking the safe route and going with a 9, but it could come up to a 10 in the future. I don't know. Potentially my favorite movie of the year. Like I said, I think this is a really movie from a technical standpoint. I certainly think it's going to win some Oscars. I can see it getting cinematography, visual effects, sound. It's a great one. So those are my thoughts on Dune. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.